This is a Kawasaki ZX12 2000 model. These were, I suppose, part of the top speed hero bikes of the late 90s, early 2000s, back before the modern bikes were, 210 horsepower, 1000 cc's. This was one of the big dogs. 1200 cc roughly. 190 horsepower, I think they quoted them at, through the Pooper Scooper Ram Air. This one I bought off an old guy that got rid of it for a no, it wasn't a Kawasaki. He bought a Suzuki DL650, which is like an old bloke's bike anyway. So I'm the second owner. I think I bought this in 2015. I rode it maybe a handful of times and parked up. For whatever reason, just fell out of love with motorbikes for a little while. Just didn't enjoy it for whatever reason. But after the visit to Phillip Island last month, well, it's not even last month, it's basically 2 weeks ago, I've dragged this out. We are going to go over it, see what it needs. I think it's going to need a bit of a birthday. It ran out of registration in 2020, so that's what, 5 years, maybe puts it probably last used on the road at 2019. We're the back end of 25 now, so this could be 6 years off the road. I'm not sure what we're going to find. Hopefully there's nothing ugly. I doubt it runs, well, it won't run off this battery at least. I know what you'll find. We'll just have a quick look over some things. I suppose the tyres look fine. That's really stiff. I don't know what that's about. Clearly a lot of hot spots along the disc here on the rotor, and the rotor seems quite stiff on the rivets. Not quite sure what to make of that. I don't know if they're meant to be better floating than that, whether that needs to come apart for a bit of a inspect and clean. These tyres are probably past the use by date on date. Appears to be a Dunlop Sports Smart. I don't know where that fits or used to fit in the range. I think that's more of a sports touring tyre maybe. Should be a date code on it. We'll know if we're dealing with something old. 35th week of 2014. We will be changing that. Yeah, it's probably fine. Would pass a roadworthy if you didn't show the date. Probably still pass. But I'm not particularly interested in throwing it down the road on a plastic front tyre that's well past its time. Other side, same deal. Hot spot on the rotors. Bike did get a bit of a hard time the last time I had on the road, so not sure. Probably a issue. I think these brakes were never much chop, even from new. Just noticed then a missing screw on the front guard. We'll have to get on top of that. Yeah, mirrors, they're in storage somewhere. Have no idea where, but they'll have to go back on. I went through maybe a drag racing phase there 10 years ago, and we went to Calder Park. I had this grand idea I'd run a 9-second pass. Never got there. That was with a standard exhaust, standard everything, just lowering links and a lowering strap for the forks. I went 1036 at 136 mile an hour. It could have been better. I didn't know at the time, but the clutch was badly slipping in the higher gears. It was a little bit hard to tell. The standard exhaust was horribly quiet, so I couldn't actually hear it over the wind noise and the other bikes that were on track at the same time. Another missing screw. I don't know what to make of that. Throttle bodies. Yes, I'm starting to remember a bit now. I replaced the velocity stacks with these Bear Racing ones. I can't remember what country they came from. They were meant to be shorter than the factory option, so I guess that means more top end power. Not that these things are really lacking, but more is always better. Battery lives in here, dead flat. This is handy. I think the previous owner put this on. Whether that was a Kawasaki part, I have no idea. but that allows you to either jump start or trickle charge a bike. Fuel tank is here, but is really under the seat. We will probably have to take that out and have a good look at it, because I expect it to be maybe not so good. We'll have a look at the controls, make sure everything looks about right. It was all stock. It should be fine. Clutch has a lot of free play, whether that's a cable thing or that's an internal, maybe the clutch is stuck together for whatever reason sitting around. Might just give that a good clutch dump when that's running. Okay, well, that's clearly not going all the way across, so we'll it's marked choke, but it's really like an idle up screw, I think, from these were from one of Kawasaki's first modern fuel injector bikes. I think they had maybe some fuel injector bikes back in the 80s, but really the ZX12 was first of the modern stuff. Yeah, throttle return's good, that's always good. Brake feels firm, but it was never much good. The 340 kilometer an hour speedo, which optimistic, yes. I think if you modify a few things, you will see the end of that speedo with standard gearing, but you might need to be a bit skinnier than me and a bit more ballsy than me. This side of the bike, foot pegs. Chain looks good. It's in reasonable condition. We probably have to lube it, maybe see if there's any stiff links. Actually, I remember now, I think we put a chain, maybe a chain. I reckon I changed the front sprocket. I reckon I went one tooth down. I just have a memory. I don't really know. This back tire, it was not much good anyway. It was pretty hard. It's about fucked, to be honest. Bit of wear on the side, as all good sports tires should have, a little bit of balling there. This is also a Sport Smart, and that brake is sticking, I'd say. I wonder how old this is. This must be the same age, like 2014. Don't know, but it's a 190 55. These things came out with a 250 rear tire, which I guess is a bit wider and a bit lower. I think I might put a 255 on it. It looks like we'll have the clearance to do that with the swing arm, just to get it a bit more nosy, maybe not so, I don't know. These things were, last time I rode it, it felt really dull in the handling, I'll be honest. So yeah, Muzzy. This is a full Muzzy exhaust, headers, whole lot, no cat. Was pretty noisy. I think it actually had a bit of a lope for the idle. There's something weird with the fuel injection system with these things when you change it to the Muzzy exhaust. I think the Acras were the same. If you kept the standard headers and put a slip-on on it, they were pretty smooth. So it's obviously something funny with the injection. But I think we better have a look at the fuel tank. I could smell it's almost like kerosene. It's just honestly disgusting smell from around here. So let's have a look. And that is rust in the tank. So this bike just, I was trying to check it with my watch, but you'll just have to trust me on that. That is the most horrible smell I've smelt from a fuel tank from a long time. And yeah, it's definitely rust. So this was going to be a quick job. We could just slap a battery in it, spoon a few new tires on, and basically call it a roadworthy certificate. This will now need the tank off, fuel pump out. Yeah, hopefully it's not rusted through the bottom or anything stupid. If it is, then we'll be on a goose chase for a tank. I guess that's what happens when you leave shit for too long. Story of my life. I have all these grand plans of doing engine swaps or riding motorbikes all the time or buying this new toy, this, that and the other. Use it a couple of times and park it up. I'd say there's a slight mark down there on the bottom of the tank on the seam. I don't think that's going to be like a structural rust. That's probably just something that's occurred over time because it may be a bit more exposed through here on the frame. Yeah. Look, we'll try and turn it over anyway. Maybe not the smartest move, but I need a bit of to pump my own tyres up a bit about this thing before I start getting carried away and pull the tank and it turns into a fucking disaster. So let's do that. Fuel pump sounds a bit shit. Why is that flicking on and off? I have no idea. I don't like that. 41,209 kilometers, so 41,000. That's there's no firing, so that could be hopefully just this old shitty fucked fuel. I'm hoping there's not some sort of electronic gremlins inside this thing. There was when I bought it. It was I had to replace the ECU actually. Had an internal short in one of the plugs. Actually, yeah. If you didn't know, the ZX12 has a monocoque frame. So basically what that means is anything that you want to do from the top of the engine is a fucking disaster to work on.